As Metroid Prime 4 gears up for a big launch on December 4th, I'm going to be breaking down all of the new information and big news that's hit the title. And there's a lot of exciting stuff to go over with this game, from the rush or surge of eShop sales in the US and even in Japan, in addition to other gameplay modes and important information that's going to get you ready before the launch. So let's go ahead and just jump right into this, and we're going to start off with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond difficulty levels. And this is super important to me. I know a lot of you guys were asking about this, but now we have details on what's happening here with the game. So Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will feature a few difficulty levels. Nintendo has officially confirmed right out of the gate. You have the casual mode and you have the normal mode, which will be available. If you beat the game in normal mode, you can also unlock a new hard mode. Now, when playing in casual mode, the enemy HP is lowered along with the amount of damage you take. Normal is the basic difficulty level and the one that most players will likely choose. Both modes will restore your health and ammo at save stations. Now, something else Nintendo has shared is that the game will have a bunch of options for controls plus more. Sensitivity for the control stick, free aim, and gyro will be available. That's very good that they added all of that. Additionally, players can fine-tune the mouse response speed. Various other options are in as well, such as the ability to turn on and off subtitles and visor shaking. And I know for me, visor shaking will be turned down to help with the, I would say, nauseousness. I don't like first person shaking in games. I don't like a lot of shaking in games, just period, overall. So very good on that with the quality of life features. Now, brightness, volume, voice volume, sound effect volume, and volume can also be adjusted. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond comes to both Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch on December 4th, 2025. So let's talk a little bit more about the difficulty levels here, because I'm very excited they're adding in difficulty levels, which I did say, yeah, they're going to do this. When I played the demo at Best Buy, you could clearly see that you can change it from normal to something else. So I figured that there would be a harder difficulty level in the game, although I do wish that it was available from the beginning. So I wish that you can pick the hard mode from the beginning and then you can play the very hard mode if you beat the hard mode. So that's my one gripe with this, but at least there's that extra difficulty level in there, just because Metroid Prime games aren't known to be super hard. They're not known to be super easy. I mean, there's puzzles in there that might kind of stump you a little bit. There are maybe some bosses that you could struggle with, but for the most part, the games aren't seen to be as hard for a seasoned gamer. Now, more if you're a casual gamer, yeah, normal's probably going to be good enough for you. I think you're going to be just fine at the normal difficulty. And of course, if you're someone that doesn't have much experience at all and aren't very good at games, then maybe the casual mode will be good for you. Or if you're just bad at shooting type of games or puzzle type of games, maybe that will be the best bet for you overall. But I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm going to beat the game on the normal mode, and then I'm going to beat the game on the hard mode. Now, one thing that I will say with this before we move to the next big Metroid Prime 4 topic is that hopefully when you play the game again on hard mode, there's enough things that kind of change or that are in addition to the game to where it just doesn't feel like, okay, now I'm just playing the game again, but it's a little bit harder. Hopefully there's some other things that they do to kind of make the playthrough better or kind of spice things up, like a new game plus type of situation, which for Metroid games doesn't work because you need to not have certain abilities and have the whole backtracking thing. But I'm hoping that they actually add in a couple different things that changes up the formula as well with another playthrough. Maybe you can get a few different types of things, or like a different type of ending or cutscene or something like that that will incentivize you to play the game again on the hard mode outside of just having a harder difficulty and more of a challenge. So we'll see what they do with that. But yes, very exciting. December 4th, Metroid Prime 4 is looking super good. But what's also looking good is all those people that are not subscribed yet, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, and clicking that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. Now, this is a little bit more of a side note thing here, but I think Nintendo is extremely confident about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, because on Twitter, people were talking about this and there was a little bit of, I would say, some attention to it. So on Twitter, Nintendo of Europe had this to say: 1 week to go, hashtag Metroid Prime 4, and it says Nintendo presents Metroid Prime 4 Beyond 4/12/2025, and everyone was pointing out they're serious. It's the Nintendo Presents. I'm not sure if you get that Nintendo Presents in front of everything else that they've done this year. I don't recall it being a thing with like Age of Calamity or Mario Kart World or any of these other games that came out. Not to say that those games aren't quality or good, because they are. Obviously, Mario Kart World is great, and so is Pokemon Legends, and so is Hyrule Warriors. There's a lot of great games. That Nintendo Presents got people hyped and people commenting on Twitter, quote tweeting, saying, okay, hold up, Nintendo's a bit serious here. They're putting the Nintendo Presents in front of it. This could be a spectacle type of thing, like a Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, that type of quality when it comes down to what people are expecting. Obviously, from a technical perspective, graphics wise, this is the best that Nintendo's maybe ever done. And of course, from a gameplay perspective, the Prime series always has a very high bar of quality when it comes to scores. For example, the numbered mainline Metroid Prime games, nothing's underneath a 90 on Metacritic. So that is super important to Nintendo overall. And I think that this whole Nintendo Presents in front of it, them putting Metroid Prime 4 1 week to go, let's get into it. This is the game for the core gamers to get excited about when it comes to a reason to potentially, if you're a core gamer, to pick up Nintendo Switch 2, because you're going to be able to get that. Even though it's on Switch 1, man, you're going to want to play this type of game, Metroid Prime 4 from Retro, the original. Hey, look at these graphics, guys, on the Nintendo GameCube. Yeah, you're going to want to play that at 4K 60 or 120 FPS 1080p on there. Like with the Switch 1, I don't even know what the specs of that are looking at right now. Nintendo has not stated, although I think Digital Foundry a while back said 900p 60 FPS, potentially with dynamic resolution. So if you're into Metroid, or if you want to have the best experience possible, obviously, if you can get a Switch 2, not everybody can afford it, whatever the case is, I understand that. A lot of expenses and different things, but if you can pick one up or trade yours in and get it, man, this might be the game for the core gamers. Obviously not for the widespread Mario and Zelda and all the other fans out there, but for the core gamers that want something intensive, this Nintendo Presents got people feeling a certain type of way overall. So we'll see how it works out, but I'm pretty confident this game is going to be a highly rated game. Probably the best rated game Nintendo's going to put out this year will be Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. From all the first party games they released this year, they released quite a number of them, excluding the Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild re-releases. But when it comes to new titles, this will probably be the best reviewed game. I think it's going to be above Mario Kart World's 86 rating, and of course above Pokemon Legends and Kirby and Hyrule Warriors and all of those games. So we'll see how it all works out for Nintendo with this game, but I'm very confident it's going to review well, and I'll have my official prediction next week at some time. But I'm leaning towards like high 80s-ish, but I might have a pinpoint prediction for you guys in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next topic here. And we're going to be talking about how Nintendo states that this game, even if you haven't played Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 2, and Metroid Prime 3, this is the beginning of a brand new story in the series. And this is what I was talking about, how Nintendo cares more about the quality of the game more so than about the sales of the game. So they're already telling you right now that yes, this is the beginning of a new series. You can jump into this right now at this point, and you don't have to worry if you haven't played Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. And they also added in this, stating that the main series of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption revolved around the story of Phazon, an energy substance that mutates living things, but Metroid Prime 4 Beyond begins a new story, so even if you haven't played the previous titles in the series, you can still enjoy it. So there you go, straight from the horse's mouth on that one. Now, I'm pretty sure if you've played the previous Metroid Prime games, and if you know all of Samus's different type of stories that she has and stuff that you've done, there'll be more context within the game with the Federation troopers and with other things. The story is going to be something new. So I recommend this too. This is something that a lot of big Metroid Prime fans like Rob from Ruler 2 Review, make sure you check out his channel. It's fantastic. He's a big Metroid Prime fan. He's played all of them, and he stated the same thing before Nintendo even said this, to where you can start at Metroid Prime 4 if you want. So I really like that. I think that it could entice more people to pick up the game, and this is a high quality title. From what I've played, from what I've seen, the quality of this title is going to be really good. So we're going to all wait for the reviews. Those are coming in next week as well. But I'm glad to see that this one is a new story and it's the beginning. So we're going to get more stories within this new line or this new branch of what Nintendo's doing. And I think that's the reason why they're introducing a bit more of a human aspect to it. They're introducing a bit more characters. They're trying to kind of build it up to where you can go in a bit of a different direction than maybe we saw when it comes to Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 to an extent. Gameplay is going to be there. Obviously, psychic powers are something different and new, but I think that also the interaction on what Samus does outside of the isolation, outside of the lone warrior destroying everything when it comes to all these different monsters and stuff like that, there's got to be some more interaction to get this series a bit more popular, get this series a bit more out there with other people playing, because they've been doing Prime games now for decade plus, and none of them have really break the bank when it comes to it. Now, Nintendo's not looking to sell 10 million copies plus of Metroid Prime 4. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think that with some of this new stuff that they're adding in, with more of the elements, I think that of having a story and having some characters and having some plot and having some things that's going to attract a bit more new people to the game, along with also having this to where you can start at this story and not worry if you've played Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, or Metroid Prime Federation Force, or Metroid Prime Hunters, or Metroid Prime Pinball. A lot of different Metroid Prime games out there over the years, whether it's the mainline ones or weird offshoot type of games. So very good to hear that when it comes to Nintendo and what they had to say here. For those who have not played the previous games, does this make you more likely to check this one out? You can let me know in the comment section. But now we are going to move on to the next thing here, and we're going to be talking about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond sales surge in Japan. In terms of what is happening there, I like what I'm seeing so far. So if you look at the Nintendo Switch 1 in Japan, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is at #1 on the eShop. The preloads went live, so therefore, since the preloads went live, you can now see where it is positionally on the eShop chart. And the eShop charts are interesting this time around because they changed it to where it's the most amount of revenue within the last 3 days, not the most amount of copies sold. Now, a lot of the games at the top are full price games or so, but it also gets you the best games that people are probably enjoying the most when it comes to revenue and with sales. So I think that they changed it to where you can't have these weird dollar eShop sale type of games. So a lot of times what you're seeing is you're seeing the best games that people are playing the most at the top, and you're seeing a lot of the evergreen games. It's great to see this in Japan because Metroid is not popular in Japan, and I don't expect Metroid Prime 4 Beyond to be some type of massive system seller type of game in Japan, but I do expect it to be maybe a bit more popular than previous Metroid Prime games in Japan. But another thing that I want to note here is that here in the US, I checked the charts as well, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is #1 on the eShop charts on Switch 1 and on Switch 2. Now, once again, I'm not sure how long it could hold that spot because you have a lot of great games like Pokemon Legends ZA, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and more. Kirby Air Riders, the previous #1, that are all there, and more people are picking up the Nintendo Switch 2 when it comes to Black Friday and Christmas, and I do think that it's going to carry the momentum into 2026, and we're going to get the big new announcements at the Nintendo Direct. So there's going to be a lot more people jumping into the fray, picking up games, and these games I think are going to be evergreen type of sellers. I'm hoping that that's what Metroid Prime 4 can do. Metroid Prime 4, I think, can be a little bit of an evergreen seller because it's coming out at the beginning of the generation, because it's going to be a high quality game, and because it's going to have a huge install base to work with. Most Metroid Prime games, the big new Metroid Prime games, are working on small install bases in the past. So if you look at Metroid Prime 1 on the GameCube, 21 million units sold. That's not great. You look at Metroid Prime 2, same thing. Very low amount of units sold. Metroid Prime 3, that had a bigger amount, but it was a different focus when it comes to the Wii. It was more about the casual experiences. So Metroid Prime 3 wasn't anything super big when it comes to the sales as well. And since then, we have had a gap in the big console-style Metroid Prime games. We've had other Metroid games that haven't done as well, or even worse than Metroid Prime outside of Metroid Dread, which did incredible 3 million plus sales for the franchise. Could Metroid Prime 4 beat out what they've done before on the GameCube with Metroid Prime that did about 2.8 million units, a little bit under 3 million? I think it's possible now with the huge Switch 1 install base in addition to a fastly growing Nintendo Switch 2 install base. So I think that is the key to success. Metroid Prime games have been kind of set up a bit weird across the GameCube and the Wii when it comes to the big numbered mainline games. And now we finally get a game on systems that are successful, systems that have momentum going from one to the next. You have people still playing, still millions of users on Switch 1. You're having millions of users on Switch 2. So this is the best opportunity that Metroid Prime, when it comes to the numbered titles, has seemed to be successful on a platform that truly has a core base of people that are buying games like this, or that are buying the big style of games. So I'm excited to see where this can go for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And of course, if you have not checked it out yet, there's demos at Best Buy. You can go check out the game yourself. You can play it and see what you think. It's the same one from the Treehouse that Nintendo did back in April. They essentially played through the same thing, but it plays at 120 FPS. It's got a 4K 60 mode docked as well. Portable mode, you're also going to be able to get 720p 120 FPS or 1080p 60 FPS. So you've got great modes, you've got great features and accessibility, you got multiple difficulty levels, you got Samus on a bike, you've got psychic powers, you've got Miles McKenzie, you've got the Federation Troopers, you've got a big game, and it's just super exciting to see what's going to happen with this game. But what do you guys think overall when it comes to everything here that I talked about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.